Hello again, Struck Pub. This week, this month, we've had so many things about Diablo 4 being revealed, leaked, rumored about, and talked about. We had this IGN interview that was with Joe Shelley and Rod Ferguson, the game director and the general manager, respectively. And they've split that big interview into a bunch of smaller, shorter videos. And I've taken the information of those videos and made my own videos with my thoughts about the things that were talked in them. And one of those was about world tiers, legendary items, world bosses, and so on. Max level limits and certain ways of how you how you progress through the development of your character, how you unlock the new challenges. So buckle up. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably coming on the 8th of November. I'm doing that today, 8th of November, but it might come tomorrow if I don't have enough time to edit all the videos I need to edit. Let's mention what world tiers are. They are an interesting mechanic similar to the torments in Diablo 3 or I think it was called hell difficulties in Immortal, and also similar to Chaos ranks in Chaos Bane. It's a way to add additional challenge, but increase your rewards. So you want things to be harder, you also get rewarded for those. World Tier 1 and World Tier 2 will be available from the very beginning. And World Tier 1 is more like an adventure mode. It's aimed at players who don't want as much of a challenge. They just want to enjoy the story of Diablo 4 and want to finish the game quicker, finish the base game quicker, even if it means you're not going to get as much drops, as much good drops. Starting at level 50, you will be able to progress through additional world tiers. And from what I could tell on the way they talk, level 50 might be around the time where you finish the campaign. Roughly around level 50, you would be finishing the campaign. And starting at level 50, you would be able to progress additional world tiers, kind of like Diablo 3 Torments, Chaos Banes, Chaos levels, and so on. Again, higher world tiers, additional wood options, and such as sacred and ancestral items. So saying sacred and ancestral items will drop. There will be kind of like the ancient items, I guess. There will be stronger versions of the legendary and unique items you can get, and so on. And those would probably start from world tier 3 and above. There will also be certain unique items that only drop in higher world tiers. So you need a git good if you wanna reach those. I'm not a fan of that, but that's how it is. Unfortunately, this is negative to the game, lowering its total score for me overall. According to Ferguson, um, the way they design the world tiers supports the core idea of Diablo's whoop, gameplay whoop. So progressing through the game, you get stronger, you get ready for hard difficulties that give you more rewards. And they mentioned something about hitting a sweet spot between those difficulties. So you got that to the point where there's that sweet spot where you are strong enough to do the content without it feeling too difficult, and then eventually you overcome it, and then you move on to the next one, and then now you're undergeared and underpowered, and then you have to gear up again. And they like this one. They like them, in their words, that power fantasy. So it's like it sums up the power fantasy in Diablo games, and adding depth to the layers of customization. I call it boring power creep. I don't know why they call it a power fantasy. It's a boring fucking power creep, chasing an endless, pushing numbers endlessly. The less of those difficulties there are, the better it is. I'd rather have no more than 5 difficulties in a game. After that, it should be easy and fast to reach the hardest difficulty, and from there on, it's the real grind where you start farming the wood in that thing. So they're saying that at the end of World Tier 3, 4, and 5, players will need to defeat a world boss in order to move on to the next world tier. One of them states that the last world tier, I think it was Shelly, which is designed for level 100, contains an extremely difficult, in their words, world boss. Yeah, world tier 5, if hopefully that's the last one, we'll have that level 100 boss, extremely difficult, and it will be a challenge. If it's a world boss that you can tackle with a party, or maybe multiple parties, it would be perfect. They're saying that unlike in Diablo Immortal or D3, switching difficulties is not exclusively a matter of clicking a button. In D4, you would need to defeat that gatekeeper, in their words, which is preventing you from moving on to the next tier. And they're saying that this gives characters a more defined, I guess, sense of progressing, of achievement. So defeating the level 100 world tier boss will get you to the end of the end game, which is the real beginning of the grind, I guess. So it's gonna be a challenge. They also talked about legendary items and customizing stuff. So there's this extra layer of customization, the extracting of legendary powers in what they call essences. So you can find legendary powers. Each legendary power would drop in different types of items. So you might find the same type of item on boots or chest, or maybe you have the exact same item on a ring or an amulet, but also on boots or gloves and stuff like that. And you can find the right power. Sure, you like that power, but then you've outgrown that item and you need to stop wearing it. Boom, you take it from that orange item, then boom, put it in a new rare item with better stats that you have found, and boom, it's now a legendary. It contains the essence of that legendary item. I really like that system, and my own game design has something similar, almost identical to this, but not really the same. And I think it's a great idea, and I think it's a very nice way of handling how legendaries work in a game, where you're after the essence, the power, the 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 thing that makes it a legendary, and when you can transfer it and make another one, and that you don't need to look for rings only if you want that power. That power drops on more than just the ring. That other power you want for your build drops on more than just boot. This gives you the flexibility of which one goes in which slot. Um, let's say you're after that chilling frost you've seen in some of the screenshots, but you just can't. You don't need to just farm the boots. It can drop on an amulet at least for sure. And yeah, if you can get it in one slot, hopefully it drops for another slot, or you just get it in a slot that you already have occupied with another piece, so you can work around what goes where, extract the powers and put them wherever you feel like they should be. In other words, when you're making builds, you would want to mention which legendary powers you want rather than which items you want, and let the players decide where they want to put those legendary powers for that build themselves. Obviously, I don't think each power goes in each item type. Most likely, each would have 4, 5, 6 different things. I can't confirm this nor deny it, but my guess is that each power would have X amount of item archetypes that it can drop on. Maybe some things would drop on chest armor, but maybe they want to drop on glove armor or on leg armor. We'll see how that goes. But something that they mentioned is that those extra stronger items that only drop in certain world tiers, sacred and ancestral items, will be stronger versions of legendaries and unique. So that's also something to keep in mind. And there's also other customization layers such as the skill tree and the paragon board. I talked about those in other videos. So that means that you would have a lot of diversity items, active and passive skill trees, then paragon skills, and that by itself is enough depth to make sure that build diversity is plentiful in the game. So hopefully they just don't fuck up the balance, which is extremely important in a game like that, to make sure more people enjoy your game, not the top 1% of builds. To get notified when I upload more content like this one or other builds and guides for Wooter and not so Wooter games, you can subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to not miss out on notifications. As well as keep in mind there's something called memberships on YouTube, which lets you be a paying member for my channel to get access to perks such as emotes and badges made by me, as well as the option to get one-on-one tutoring for the very basics of Adobe Photoshop, Premiere, and After Effects. And memberships can be cancelled at any time if you no longer want to be a member. Thanks for watching all the way until the end, Struck Web. Keep it cool until next time, and goodbye.